Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel. Great to be back once again with another video on our conversion from FS19 to FS22. Yes, we are looking at how to convert a map and all the nitty-gritty stuff and all the challenges that we get along the way. So yeah, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite drink or whatever you like. Sit back and relax with me as we storm this thing and see what we can do. Great, man. So yeah, if this is your first time, I just want to put my cell phone off because I'm gonna go crazy if it goes pinging like that all the time. And yeah, if this is your first time here, just a big warm welcome to you. Please do give the video a like, and also, well, obviously if you like it, like it. If you don't like it, then don't like it. But yeah, please do subscribe and share my stuff. It helps the channel grow. Appreciate that very much, man. Great, guys. So where are we? We've done 3 videos so far, and we're currently busy stripping down the map, the FS19 map. Take away all the stuff that can give problems in the conversion, and then once we have like a bare bone map, we're going to convert it, and that is basically almost where we are. So tonight's or today's video, we're going to hit that spot and do the conversion. But before we do that, I just want to look at the ground textures and get going with the ground textures. Like I said on a previous video, the wild map had custom ground textures. So if that is your case, I'm just going to follow the steps here. It's going to be just a quick step that you need to do to change those. So in your maps folder, in your map 01 directory, you will see here's all the weight files. Now the weight files, you guys must excuse, we've got some weather brewing here in the background, so if you hear the thunder, just don't worry about it. We live in South Africa, we've got lots of thunder here. So it's pretty normal for this time of the day, after a nice hot day in summer, to have some weather brewing, you know. So yeah, don't worry about that. Sorry for that. But I do love the weather. I'm so in love with the thunder and the lightnings and all that. I like that. So yeah, it's good stuff. Anyways, guys, the weight files is like you see this, the beach sand. So all the beach sand that you've selected on the map to actually paste it on the map is what the weight files are. In other words, it tells the map or the editor where you want all the beach sand, and that goes for the grass and all of that. So all the ones that is totally black is obviously ones that you haven't used in the map, like these Riverstone, and you can go through them like that, you know, have a quick idea of what has been used. But anyways, the weight files obviously cannot be map routed to the map default or back to the FS19 default game installation, because they are map specific. In other words, they need to be here in the map, because otherwise, yeah, it won't work, because you can't put this grass weight to the map default, then your map won't look right, you know. So, but the ones that you need to change, if your map has stuff like rough dirt or whatever that is not the weight file but the actual rough dirt, then you need to change the directory, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You go into your map i3D, right click on it and select open with or edit, and you go Giants Editor 8.22. It will ask again, because yeah, that's just how editors work, because especially if you've got a few of them going, you know. Just grabbing a sip of coffee here. Wonderful. So what you're going to do now is I've actually done wrong now, guys. But anyway, here is your foliage layers, and this is all the not the foliage layers, the texture layers. Sorry, this is the ones that you have weight files for. Now, if any one of these, like rough dirt, animal mud, grass down, if any one of these are not in your default map, or not in your map, if they are showing in your map directory in some place, you will find it in the map i3D. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this with Notepad++, not Giants Editor. Sorry guys, I actually talked nonsense there. And you're going to go through them here. You'll see here, this is all the weight files. So the weight files is good. They need to be there in your map directory. But if you have any of the actual texture files in your map directory, you have to reroute those back to the default. So all you do is change the directory back to $data, and you'll find that if you go down a little bit lower, ooh, that's too far. That is way too far. Let's just scroll down, because I found if you use that thing there on the side, it just goes very fast. You see here, $data, foliage, barley. So you can find where the actual ground texture is, and just point it to the map default directory. It will be $data / maps / whatever, you know. So just find those and reroute it there. Save your map, save your i3D, open it in the editor, and check that they are still there in the editor, because nothing should change in the editor. They should still show, and see that you don't have errors. And then once you've done all of that, Bob's your uncle, then everything should be honky-dory. Okay, so now we actually are now having a map here that is stripped down to almost nothing on it. And we should have a smooth conversion. So what we can do now, obviously, is close this for now. We're going to open now the Giants Editor version 9 or 9.02 or whatever it is at now, 9.02. So here we go. And then we can get rid of the console. I can actually close that for now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go File, Open Mod. Because remember, we want to import it. So we're going to open Mod. You're going to find your map for the FS19, like mine is called the Wild. And you're going to open the mod disk. So you open your mod disk file. That's why it's important to have everything stripped to 0 or stripped to nothing, especially your XML files as well. And then you're going to open it, and it's going to say found mod files from old farming simulator. Upgrade files automatically using cloud service. Oh yes, and a tip, guys. A tip before you do anything else. I just want to quickly go into my desktop. Where's the desktop? Desktop. Here we go. And then what you do with your editor icon, run it as administrator. So right click on that, go properties, go to compatibility, and just tick here, run this program as an administrator, and click OK. So what this is going to do is when you open your editor, it's going to give you that warning if your Windows protection is still active. Then it will give you that warning, do you want to run this program? It blanks your screen, you say yes. So it's going to get that every time, so don't worry about it. You just click yes there, and it will open your editor normally. But what it does is it gives your editor access through your firewall to the internet, so by default. So that is very nice. Anything that you run as administrator automatically does that. So what you're going to do now is convert mod, and you're going to go say yes, and then working directory. So give the file, it will take your default file name and add converted to the back, but you can say here where you want to store it. And very important, verify that this is where your Farming Simulator 19 is installed, because it's going to pull a lot of the stuff out of the default game for Farming Simulator 19 and convert it to FS22. So if this directory is wrong, you're going to have a lot of errors in your conversion. So once you've done all of that, you just click OK, sit back and relax. It takes a minute or two or whatever to finish the conversion. So while we're having a break, I'm having a sip of coffee. Good. So let's just sit back and see how long it will take. There you go. Alright, now this that you get here is a report. This report is going to tell you exactly what has gone wrong. So you're going to take every one of these one single and go through them. Like here's an error. It says that map 01, remember that's our map XML, has not unable to pass the XML. So it hasn't converted that. So that already is a big problem to me, because I mean, hello, I'm building an editor. The map XML is almost the most important XML in the game, and you guys can't even get that to convert. I mean, that is just ridiculous if you ask me. Anyways, and so for a lot of your XMLs, you'll see it says XML copied without change. So you'll find that a lot of them is going to give you warnings, no template found, XML copied without a change. And that is so frustrating. I just can't believe that this Oaks can release an editor that's so how can you say, halfly done. I can't understand that. Anyways, so what you want to do is save your report, give it a name or whatever. I'm just going to save it on my desktop. That's where I can work from easily. And then once you've done the close and select mod to open, and you're going to say okay, and now it's going to actually load the map here, and you're going to end up with your FS22 converted map with 10,000 errors in it. And when you go into your console now, you will see all the problems that it had here, like this one here. Shaders, ground shader. Remember I told you in an earlier video about the ground shader I had to modify. It's still the same problem. Old shape files, that's fine, it will sort itself out. And then obviously we're going to work on all those conversion problems first, and then once that is done, we will be more than happy to take that in and have a working map. Alright, so what you can do now is save your map. I've moved it around. Once it's saved like that, you can close it up. Save changes. I've just saved it now. What do you want to save again? Weird. And you can see also there the glossy textures and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff, shaders and stuff that's not working right. Good. So now we have, here is our, just want to take this away. Here's our migration log. That's important. And here is our converted map. So that's now our new FS22 converted map. And here's the log file. You can open that to your heart's content. Just going to open that a bit wider. Edit. Word wrap is on, so yeah, it is as it should be. Warning, no template found, XML copied without change. So you're going to grab every one of these files and sort them out one at a time. And once you've done the whole list, work through the whole list, then obviously most of the XML stuff will be sorted out. Now most of those are external, but some are also used in the map itself, in the editor. So the next thing will obviously be to work through the editor errors. Then you're going to open obviously your map in the editor, so we're going to double click that, open now with 902. I have to keep track here of the versions, otherwise it will crash the map again, you know, so if you try and open it in the wrong editor. Right, so once your map is opened in the editor, you're going to have to work through these warnings and stuff as well. You'll see, just take them one at a time, guys. Work through them one at a time. There shouldn't be too many, so it should be easy to do it. Much better this way than having like 200 of them sitting here and you have to try and do that. It'll take you days and days to sort out a lot of errors, but these are really simple, won't say simple, but quick ones to fix. There's like 5 or 6 errors here that needs to be sorted, and then once those are sorted, yeah, you can boot up your map in FS22. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the first one just for interest sake. It says failed to open XML, deprogram files, the ground shader. So FS22 data shaders ground shader. Now if you go to that directory, let's just close some of these. Go FS22 data, what was that directory now? Now I've already forgotten. It says it's data shaders ground shader.xml. Data shaders ground shader.xml. So it's data shaders, shaders, and then you can try and find ground shader here. There is no ground shader for FS22, so that's a problem. It's no wonder it doesn't find the file. So what I've done on a previous attempt is I've gone into, and I'm going to just show you what I've done just to make it work. It's probably not the best option. Maybe there's other options. So I don't know what to do in that case. You can obviously delete the ground shader reference in the i3D. Maybe that will be the best option to do, but then there's no shader loading for ground shaders. So I'm not too sure what FS22 uses for shaders. Maybe we can have a look at that quick. Right, so having a look at FS22's ground type of layers and diffusers and textures and things, you'll see here that under data, maps, textures, terrain, ground, you have the different types now. They've got, instead of just a ground layer diffuse, they have ground type cultivated, they have directly sown, they have grass, they have grass alpine, and all different types of textures for the ground now. And then there's also the spray types. You see spray fertilizer, spray lime, yeah, all that nice stuff. So if you go back to 19, data, is it shaders? Not shaders, sorry. Where was I now just now? Already forgot. Data, maps, textures, terrain, ground. Okay, so it is 19. It's data, maps, textures, terrain, and ground. So this is your FS19 stuff. You only had one, and that's ground 1 and ground 2. That's basically it. So there's a huge difference now in the terrain textures and things. So what I'm thinking, just to give it a try, and you can try it by yourself as well, is to obviously now take this terrain textures and just bring it into FS22 and see if it works. I don't know if it will work. So in order to do that, obviously we need to go to the ground textures, terrain. Let me just have a look here. Data, shaders, and then find the ground shader. This is 19 here. The ground shader will be in here. Ground shader, there it is. So we're going to copy that ground shader, Control C, drop it into our map, obviously, and that's under shaders, hey? So we're going to go the wild converted in here. Let me just go back here to its shaders. So it's data shaders. So we're going to go into data shaders into our map. So we keep the same tree for that. So it's data shared. We don't have a shaders directory, so we're going to create one for us. Folder shaders, and then in there, let's wait for it to make it, and there it is. No, what did it do now? Don't want there. I want to be at shaders. Good. Paste it in there. So that's our first XML. Now, in order to use this shader, obviously now, the first thing that's not going to need to happen is if you go in here, it's going to tell you here that it found, it's looking, the i3D is looking for this file, groundshader.xml. So we're going to have to change the reference now for it in the i3D. So let's go out of the map. And then we're going to open the i3D maps, i3D, edit, open with edit to 9. I know we want to go Notepad++, sorry. And we're going to go find that ground shader. So the best is Control F ground. I think I have searched that before. Ground detail, ground, no, ground shader, like so. Why is it not searching? It's supposed to go ground shader, find next. Here we go. So this we need to change now to our local map. So it will be the directory for it will be right, guys. After a bit of trial and error, I realized that in the root directory there's a data folder for all the converted things out of FS19. So I've created this shaders directory there, it's the wrong place for it. So just cut that out of there and then go back in here. There's a maps, the normal maps folder, and it must go into this data folder here, and then paste it in here. Great, because that's the FS22 side of your map. Great. So what we'll do now is open that up, and there's our ground shader. So now if we open it in the editor, the map, let's just open the map, and for some reason my direct map open thingamajobby is not working anymore, so I'm just going to go open. I have to do it this way now. It's possible that my settings has changed for some reason. With these things you never know. Let me just have a look if my program file Steam apps editor is still pointing to FS22. Yeah, it is. You see, there's nothing wrong there, so I don't know why this thing is doing that. But anyway, let's just open it up. Open map 01. Right, so now let's see what it says. That's probably going to complain about the version now. It should be version 5 and not version 4. But the reason I'm doing this is so that you can see the whole process. So here it is, outdated custom shader. The wild map pop-up shader has version 4. Please convert it to file to version 5. Now, you run into this problem with most of your XML. So all you do, basically, it's a Jippo to solve that, or to fix it. So you open the shader in editor and change the version number to 5, because that's what they're complaining about. So let's just give it give it what it wants, you know. And then open it up. Let's leave all this open, because we're going to probably need to do that, work on it still some more, like 200 times. Good. So let's have a look what it's complaining about now. If we open it up, map 01, and that is the process, guys. To and fro until you've run through all the little nitty-gritty problems. The textures, okay, to work efficiently, custom shader, the texture streaming needs. Okay, so UV usage is what's needed. The texture streaming needs UV usage, so there needs to be a section of UV usage in there. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to go to GroundShader, open this up, and find the textures, and they say it needs UV usage in here. So we're going to add UV usage for it. So UV scale offset. Did they say textures? The texture streaming needs UV usage. Custom shader. Okay, the texture streaming needs UV usage. I'm at a very big loss at this things, guys, because I'm not really so clued up with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to work through it and copy and paste until we've added all the stuff in here. So my best guess will be to go to the FS22 directory, installation. Here we go, and we're going to go do a search for that. Did it not copy it? UV usage thing. Right, guys, what I've done now is I've gone into the FS22 shaders directory, and opened a few of the shaders, and then I found the UV usages that it's talking about. Now there's a background terrain shader, and then there's ground height shader, building shader. So if you look at the background terrain shader, it's got stuff here for it's got a base map, normal map, gloss map, project mask, diffuse one. So I'm not too sure. And then if you look at the building shader, it's got snow specular, a few. So UV usages, obviously UV, it's got to do with the sun reflecting, making different colors. So yeah, it's difficult to say which one we should use in there, or which UVs that it's going to be needed for the ground. Height, blend map, gloss map, normal map, and this one has got normal map. It doesn't have a blend map, it's got a base map, and this one's got normal map, gloss map. Snow figure. I'm gonna think of ground, and gonna just drop this whole section of UV usages for the ground in there. So we're going to copy that over to our ground shader. Let me just see which is the right one now. We are in the wild converted maps data shaders ground shader. Yes. And then we're going to go up here, obviously right to the top, just under parameters. I'm just going to go home there and paste the code in there for UV usages. Alright, like so. And then we're going to save it. And then we're going to close up here and reopen it to see our changes, if it's complaining about what next. It will be fun to see if it's now happy with the UV usages or if there's some more errors on that shader. Good, so let's have a look here. Let's obviously open the map first, man. That will help a lot. Here we go. Great, so just let it finish loading and we can have a check. Right, map 01. To tell you the truth, it looks like it's happy now with our shader, our ground shader. Well, it's not giving any complaints, and if I have a look at the ground close by, it's probably still going to have that glossy thing. So I don't know what to do there about that yet. If any of you have an idea what that is, that shiny glossy glass-like thing on top, it's definitely got to do with the shaders, because the way light falls on it. So there's definitely a shader problem, and I'm not sure how to fix that. So if you have any ideas for me, please give me a email or a comment in the description below, or in the comment section. I appreciate that very much. Anyways, guys, so that is basically just one of them sorted, so you can have like an idea how to sort it out one at a time and fiddle around until you've got it fixed up, like I've done just now. Although I'm still not sure if it's correct. Maybe I should add some of the other UV usages that the other things I have in here and see if my ground problem is going away. I'll give that a go off screen, and if there's any good news, I'll let you know on the next video. Great, man, guys. But anyway, so that now is how we solve the problems one at a time, tackle them one at a time, and work through them and figure them out. And then once you have everything ready, you can open your map in-game and paste it in your mod directory, open it in-game and see what happens. One thing I must tell you, let me just close all of these, because obviously we finished with them now. One thing I must definitely show you guys is in your map, once you've converted it, very important, in your map XML, it will be this one here, the map, where is that now, converted under XML, map01.xml. In here, you will definitely have to add here a line. That is something that I've realized from the very, no, sorry, it's in the mod desk, not the map XML. Is it now in the mod desk? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, the default items. So what you're going to need to do here is go into your FS22 directory. Let's just go in here. So it's FS22 data maps, and pick any map. I'm just going to go to map US because that's the one I've converted from. And you go into its mod desk. Where is its mod desk? Let me just think now. It's not in here. I think it's in here under SDK, is it? Map US mod disk. Yes, here we go. And then you copy, guys. There's now a thing called placeables. So default placeables XML. You must take this line. Default placeables. If my mouse just want to work with me. My word, where's it gone to now? There we go. Default placeables. .xml. You take that whole piece, you copy that, Control C, add it into your mod disk. Default items, just before default items, Control V, make a space between the two, just make sure that it's in there, default placeables, okay? And then you're going to obviously have to get that placeables.xml, okay? So maps, it will be maps XML, just put it in the same spot, so get the right directory, so it will be XML like that, and then placeables.xml. Alright, so you save your mod disk, you can close up shop for that mod disk, and then we're going to go maps, oh sorry, we're going to go back to our map, not this one here, the wild converted, maps XML. Now in here we should drop the placeables.xml from FS22, so we're going to go in here, open in a new window. We can minimize that, so we can just drop it in if that's easier. Gonna go data, maps, just find placeables.xml, data maps, map US, placeables.xml, Control C, copy that, bloop, drop it in here, paste it, and there it is. So now you've got the placeables in your map, and you open it up. Now the problem is all of these things is obviously now on another map. It's in the default map. So to save yourself a heck load of time, I'm gonna go like this. It's a smaller 2 dashes, sorry, exclamation mark 2 dashes, and you're gonna have to go through the whole lot, and just, you can either delete them or leave them in there. I like to leave them in there because you can just, when you put your own placeables now in, the lines are already there with examples, so it's easier. Or you can just delete them out and pull from the real placeables that we've just copied, the original. So it's probably best to just delete the whole thing so it's empty like that. So there's no placeables in your map at the moment. Alright, so, and then save it up. Great. And now what you do now, just for fun, I'm going to drop this map in the mods folder. So the wild converted, let me just go in here, Control X, cut it, drop it in FS22 mods, make sure it's the mods folder, Control V. So when we drop it in there, I just want to rename it because I don't like the converted nonsense behind it. Because, let me tell you why, always good for multiplayer to keep your name simple with no spaces and stuff. So what you'll do then is, if you open your, I think it's the map, yeah, it's this one here, the mod disk, you'll see multiplayer support true, and then map ID is the wild. So just make sure that that name is actually your folder name. Alright, always have that the same. Good, and now we can test it in FS22 and see what it does. Let's give it a bash. So I'm going to open FS22. Let's have a look together. It will probably crash because there's still a load of errors that's going to give us grief, but who knows. There you go, career. Let's open up new farmer. The wild, there it is, continue. I'm gonna, yeah, just as I thought. And you know why it's done that? Because I think it's probably done that because the map XML is not working right. But anyway, the way to figure that out now is to go into your FS22 directory, not that one, this one here, where your My Documents is. Look at your log file, and it will quickly tell you here what's gone wrong. I've got too many stuff here. Just delete the log to make a fresh one. Alright, and then just quickly open it up again in game. FS22. I know I'm wasting video time now, but it's interesting stuff to just give you guys a few last minute tips. when you try to open your map eventually. And I'm sure it's the map 01. There's something wrong there. Let's go there. The wild, continue, start. Yeah, you see there was a big red error there before it cut off. So now we can open the log and check what error that was. Okay, available, what time, mod. Warning, that's just the map sizes that we need to change the resolution of that, the map preview. There's nothing that will crash the game. Okay, store items.xml, you see, so that's our big problem, one of our big problems. Attempt local XML store manager. Alright, the store items.xml. So we're going to have to fix that one first. And the same thing here again. Once you've done all the errors in the editor, you try and open the map in game and then work through this whole log of errors until you found. And if you've got one that repeats itself like this one, like 1260, 1260, 1260, it just means it's a reoccurring thing, and it's all coming off from map 01 that missing ground type, map ground type mappings. Map 01, you see there's also a problem with the map 01, so we're gonna have to work through those one at a time, guys, to figure it out and fix it up. But anyway, I think I've taken up enough of your time. I hope this video has been a bit helpful and showed you some ideas and stuff. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for my supporters. Really appreciate you guys. If you haven't considered supporting me yet, do jump onto my PayPal link, or my even better, my Patreon link. It's in the description of the video. Just beneath the video name, the name of the video, the text name of the video, there's a little drop down. So you click on that and it will open the rest of the stuff underneath my video description. And then in there, obviously, you'll find the links to my website where you can download all my maps and stuff. And yeah, even do some support for me. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you watching. I'll catch you next time. Take care.